guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, Algria. Munson here from expatsportugal.com with a Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. How are you? How was your weekend? Do let us know, please, in the chat. I need another weekend to recover from the weekend I've just had. Good times this weekend. Went to a fantastic new real estate realtor, estate agent opening in San Martino de Porto. Oh, and lovely friends Paul and Lita. We're in the Bay as well. Lovely to see you two on Saturday night. They may not have tuned in yet. They promised to tune in this morning. So give us a shout, Paul and Lita, if you're in already. If not, if you're a little bit sleepy because you've had a nice busy weekend or you've not come back up from the breakfast hall yet, we'll show you a picture of you in front of the beautiful San Martino Bay a little bit later on in the show. Hundreds of events from Andy this morning. Wow, he's had a busy weekend as well, collecting events for all of us. He's the champion when it comes to collecting events. Lots of amazing things to do around the Barrada region. And Portuguese people well, it's kind of centralish, isn't it? Aveiro district are really getting back into the party spirit. Festa, vamos embora, up there in the Barrada region. Got a few posters to show you. What I can't bring you before 9, when Gilda joins us for Migration Monday, we will take a look at later on in the show. A property to look at as well. Cindy B has become our realty snoop. Having a look around the dark crevices of the internet, finding fantastic Portuguese properties. So we have the wonderful Cindy B, who's taken a particular interest in bringing houses to us, because I slipped a bit with that, didn't I? With the best of intention, I was hoping to bring you a Casa do Dia, as the name suggests, every day. But that slipped a little bit, and the shows are so busy these days as well. So Cindy B keeping me on track there, and she has found a beautiful property in Arganil. If you haven't been to Arganil, I mean, not to live, I mean, that's where this property is, but over Goish, Arganil Way, what a beautiful part of Portugal. And a 2-bedroom house with a 90 square meter garden with 75 square meters of fruit trees, or 75 square meters is the garden with fruit trees. 105,000 euros. The asking price for that. So stay tuned. We'll probably have a look at that with Gilda around 9:30. And at 9:15, we have the Slug. The Slug is with us this morning. He moves among us quite slowly and steadily. And his thoughts from the Redwoods at around 9:15 this morning, talking to James Holley then. Okay, how's everybody doing in the chat? And now I know there are people in need of hugs and help. In our community. It's usually the way, isn't it? We're of a considerable size and people need hugs and help. If you need hugs or help, or you want to shout out about the amazing weekend you've had in Portugal, or the amazing plans you're making to come to Portugal, do include those, please, in the chat. First in this morning at 9 minutes past 7, the God Squad thought of the day, growing old disgracefully. Apparently we lose 1% of muscle mass a year from the age of 40. I'm feeling that in my bottom, I have to say, my posterior. Maybe I shouldn't sit on it quite so much. But we lose 1% muscle mass a year from the age of 40 unless we appropriately exercise. Yes, appropriate exercise only, people. Well, come on, we're growing old disgracefully. Inappropriate exercise too. And send pictures of those. Simple strength activities will help. Start gently and build up over a few weeks. That's the way to go, isn't it? Deagle also in early. Seth, would you believe? Bon dia, Carl. Damp in Belfast, 12 degrees. Heading to airport and hoping to land and get that blast of heat at around 1 o'clock. 10 nights and then only 140. Excuse me. Then 145 more sleeps until they're out again in October. Bon voyage, Deagle. And Mr. and Mrs. McKinnon have a fantastic trip. Have a super holiday here. I'm looking forward to your pictures already. T-Duck is in with a Bon dia Alegria Gumpers and some Portuguese sayings, which this morning are "Que ha pasado? Quer tomar?" Tomar, of course, is to take, isn't it? I think, as well as being a fabulous city here in Portugal. And so, quem o pássaro quer tomar não o raio de enjotar. Whoever the bird wants to take, it will not chase him away. Deal gently with the bird you mean to catch. Poignant. São as vozes do que anúncios. It's more the voices than the nuts. What? Great cry, a little wool. Well, that really explains it. Come on. Can I have some help with this one, please? Say, são mais as vozes do que anúncios. It's more the voices than the nuts. Se a barba, let's move on. Fosse tudo, podia a Buddha pregar. If the beard was everything, the goat would preach. Okay. These are quite cryptic this morning, I've got to say, T-Duck. I do like them a lot. I mean, these would be great, wouldn't they, to enigmatically voice at a dinner party or among friends, wouldn't it? Just to turn to your friends and go, do you know what? If the beard was everything, the goat could preach. And then don't say anything. Just sit there. People say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day. Winnie the Pooh. Very good. We haven't had a Winnie the Pooh quote, have we? I've had a Pooh quote on here. Not of that kind anyway. People say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day. Winnie the Pooh. That's great, isn't it? Bad decisions make good stories. Oh, yes. Ellis Vidler, if anybody wants to share this morning a bad decision that made a good story, please try and summarize it in a few words on the screen here. It's like tweeting, isn't it? See what you can do with that. My favorite machine at the gym is the vending machine. Oh, yes. It's funny that I always, when I take my kids swimming, I always want to hit the vending machine at the end of the session. Makes you hungry and thirsty, though, doesn't it, swimming? Pep Guardiola, a quote of the season. I believe he's one of the managers of one of the Manchester football teams. Is that right? Morning, Owen. I fully understand this one. Creating something new is the difficult part. To make it and build it and get everyone to follow, amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Well done, Pep Guardiola. Bon dia, Gumpers, from the glory that is yellow, me. That would sound great in Latin as well. So that's Banana Slugs, new moniker for the week. Bon dia, Gumpers, Feliz Segunda Todos, very good. And his Will Rogers quote of the day, everything is funny as long as it is happening to somebody else. Absolutely right. But the old Schadenfreude this morning. On that note, and I might bring this up again when we have James here, but I have a fantastic, I think it was James who brought this to us, isn't it? Dance Like Nobody Is Watching. And he gave us the full quote. Text and email. This is a new one for this age. Text and email like it will be read in court someday. Excellent advice. We are just awash with good advice this morning and proverbs. Oh, a bit of Portuguese history. Do you know what? I'm going to wait until Gilda's here to do the Portuguese history today. Let me just make sure I've got that stored somewhere so that I can come back to that. Prof, good morning to you. We missed you Friday. And you're saying to us, bon dia. What? Ronald McDonald in the picture off the Bilbao. So can't watch the show this morning. But, we can talk about the prof. Very, very diligent, has left us with a Portuguese history. And two, I think, at least one, possibly two. First one, 1179. We're taken back to 1179. Matty's about. Hola, bon. So thanks, Prof. Have a good trip. Sounds like he's on the move, back and forth. Hola, bon dia, alegria, todos in Pombal. Fantastic. Well done, mate. Arrived Saturday night at midnight. He's back in the country. Again, I could feel a disturbance in the force. This is not the German you're looking for. Right, Pete's in as well. Let's all congratulate Arsenal on their immense achievement of going to Turkmenistan on a Thursday night. Come on, you Spurs. I don't know what that means. Well done, Owen. Left it a bit late, but at least Shell sales have countdown for another year. Oh, have they knocked Liverpool out? Is what happened at the weekend then? Did Man City beat Liverpool? I'm so sorry. I'm not keeping up. Am I at all with the British soccer? Hola todos from Tony Baldylocks. How you doing, Tony? Good to see you here. And Baddy's in. Bon dia, alegria. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm just loving it here. And you were spotted at the pit stop, or pit, as they call it here in Portugal. How was it? What was the music like? How you doing, Baddy? Nunu is here. Good morning, everyone. I wish you all a pleasant week. How marvelous. Thank you very much, Nunu, for that. And yes, finally, Matty, welcome to Portugal. Flipping it seemed like it's never going to end. Dad joke. Oh, my goodness. Okay, we'll save that for later, too. Superb. Some of you will have enjoyed that already. Oh, yeah. Hola, bon dia. All from Gumpland. Good vibes there. I think that's an emoji that has been translated. So let's put your picture on, just in case you missed it earlier on. Paul and Lita, so lovely to see you. Don't forget to drop by And pick up your plants. Mrs. Emma sorted you out with some plants, folks. So come pick those up. And of course, yes, the gardening Q&A tonight from 6:15. Head gardener McGrady will be here from 6:15 with the Happy Homesteaders, the Get Out and Grow crew. Anna and John and myself will be here at 6:15 this evening, and it's going to be a lot of fun, as it usually is. Superb. Thank you very much, Paul Lita. So lovely to see you. Now, where these comments are coming in thick and fast. Moaz is here. Bon dia, meus amigos. Morning to you, Moaz. How you doing? Got a Moaz and a Boaz in this community. Prof, hope you are making the most of the weather prior to departure to North Rwanda. Stop it. Cindy B, aforementioned, is here. Bon dia, Gampos. I've got that lovely property that you sent me sorted out, Cindy B. Cindy will join us from time to time on the screen as well to look at those. Jack Polly's in. Bon dia. Thank you very much, Jack. Oh, while you're there, Jack, let's play your video from Alvor, the carnival this weekend. This will get everybody moving this morning, won't it? This is incredible. Oh, my goodness. Are you ready? Let's do this. That was banging. There's no other word for it, is there?
Everyone, let's look up to the sky. Let's start waving at that voice. Say high, wave high, real high, wave high. 5, 4, 3, 2, make some noise.
Sometimes I wake up early in the morning.
This is how we do it. Yo. Hey, it's time for the CO move. Get ready for the CO move. Johnny, shoulder. Here we go. Jump. Jump. Left shoulder. Jump. Jump. Left shoulder. Jump. Left shoulder. Jump. Left shoulder. Jump. Left shoulder. Jump.
Oh, my goodness. Alvor Carnival, Jack Polly, thank you so much for that. Wow! Did that make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up? It wanted to make me whip out my air horn and give it a quick blast for you this morning. Meanwhile, in Alcobaça.
Desde manhã não sou bom, vem aqui para minha beira, eu serei o teu amor. Ao fim são filhas de nossos corados, primaveiras por elas sem paz. O povo é latino e sempre semeia, os campos são lindos, cada nossa aldeia. Se quer ter o meu amor, anda comigo sem paz, que no altar do Senhor, nunca devemos te rezar. Ó filhos sem feias de nossos corados, primaveiras por elas sem paz. O povo é latino e sempre semeia, os campos são lindos, cada nossa aldeia.
Now, isn't it beautiful? I told you, didn't I? Portuguese people are partying all around the country. Is a little gingerbread man having a lie down after that? Now, what did Pam call this? This is, thank you, Pam, for the Alcobaça folk dancing. What a beautiful occasion. So Alvor in the south and the carnival, then Alcobaça on the Silver Coast and some traditional dancing there. And this little fella here looks like from Shrek. Looks like he's going to get up and talk. A boneca, that is. And another beautiful photograph from Pam as well, from Alcobaça. Look at that. Look at the colors in there. People in traditional garb for Alcobaça. The colors are beautiful, and it must have been a lovely weekend there. The weather was strange, wasn't it, this weekend? I don't think many of us had the high temperatures that were forecast. I think things were occluded a little bit by the Saharan sand, but a strange weekend weather-wise, but in many ways quite a good one, I think, with the some overcast weather helping the dancers out around the country. Although it looked pretty hot in Alvor, it has to be said. So thank you so much To you, Pam, to you, Jack, for putting a spring in our step. We can dance a little bit more now, a bit more music as we play the theme tune for Thoughts from the Redwoods, everybody. Well, good morning to Mr. James Holley. What are you calling yourself this week, James?
I never know. something like the glory that is yellow, something like that.
It sounded really Roman to me. 'Tis I, the yellow one. All before me.
The photo was just such a bright yellow. I said, I don't know what. That's a good one.
Well,
Very
good
bright.
morning to you. I think, like me, you've had a pretty fabulous weekend. Am I right?
Yes, very enjoyable. I had a chance to hang out with another one of our riot Friday or Saturday. Suze was rolling by, stopped by, so we got to hang out for a bit on whatever day it was. I lose track. It's kind of like every day is the same day. So one of those days.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Suze
that
is
was
quite a mission, isn't she? Quite an adventure. And
yes,
nice for us to have
indeed.
up with you.
Absolutely. It's always fun to meet folks. I'm looking forward to getting to one of the meetups at some point. Got to get my transportation figured out and those kinds of things, but definitely on the to-do list.
Lovely to talk to you. Yeah, great, fantastic. So Redwoods, you sent me this. Let's include this, shall we? While we remember, that's giving us the scale of the Redwoods, isn't it? Is there anything else you'd like to say about this? Are you in this picture somewhere?
No, this is a stock photo, but I felt it really captured the colors and the look of a redwood forest for anyone who hasn't seen one, and certainly the size and scope of a redwood tree, like an old forest redwood tree. I think my friend Slug might be somewhere in there at the foot of the tree, but he'd be kind of hard to see.
Yes, yeah, just taking it easy. He's a kind of peaceful, contemplative character, not unlike yourself. And what have you been peacefully contemplating in the week since we last saw you, James?
Well, once again, I had a couple of follow-up things from last week as we talked about choice that I wanted to get to before I move on to what I've been thinking about for this week. One of the things I've noticed about the notion of choice is some people who declare they don't have one. I don't have a choice. This came up a lot with the teens I was working with during my internships. And I really started to look at that because I know the feeling of I don't have a choice. And what I ultimately came up with, again, if we put aside the notion that we may have created everything for ourselves and therefore that was a choice, we can put that aside and just say, all right, my circumstances suck. All right, great. So now the choice is, what do you want to do about it? And the response to that is, I don't have a choice. You know, it usually comes when kids were in trouble and the only options were to lose their phone for a week or you know, get arrested by the police, you know, something like that. And I don't have a choice. I said, well, yeah, the two choices you have don't look very good to you, but there's still a choice, right? So the conclusion I came to about this feeling of not having a choice is that the consequences of any of the choices in front of you are not pleasant to look at. It's like, I don't like any of the consequences, therefore I don't have a choice. So that's what that looked like to me when we say, well, I don't have a choice. And then there are people who say, well, I'm not going to make a choice. I refuse to choose, you know, maybe because I don't like my choices. What I came up with there, what I figured out is that not choosing is choosing to let the circumstances make the choices for you. So it's just a function of conscious choice or not conscious choice. Not choosing just means I'm choosing to let whatever's happening happen with no control over it or no say in it. So I thought those are kind of important elements around choices. Sometimes people argue, that they don't have a choice or choice isn't everything. And I'm not here to argue it. I'm just saying in my experience, that's pretty much all life is one choice after another.
And it's relentless, isn't it? I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. And yeah, there is the off ramp, isn't there, to argue about whether that's the case or not. And I like how you put it. I mean, that's your experience, and that's probably the best place to come from, isn't it? Because there can be argument about ideas, but when we share experience, I think something else happens. And I would agree with you from my own experience. And I would add that the way you put it there, it just sounded, and is, I think, a little bit exhausting. This is the life of the human being, isn't it? And we must give ourselves some credit and some compassion, and give each other credit and compassion for this process as well, because it's a tough one, isn't it? Like, and clearly, on a sort of rational measure, it's easier for some than others. And those seats change, don't they? It's like musical chairs as well. So the one who looks all kind of okay and happy and should be happy, etc., they have their turn in the dance and not sitting down for a little while. And this, I say this, just slightly tongue in cheek, but it's no wonder God loves us, whatever you think that to be, because it is quite tough being a human being.
Yes, yeah, you reminded me two things I want to say. Well, first of all, just in response, well, I just lost the first one, so I'll go to the second one. When you said it's exhausting, it reminded me of a conversation I was having with my mother years ago, sharing with her my thought processes, which you might perceive are pretty exhausting in and of themselves. But the notion of self-awareness and doing the work, being conscious and making choices, as she just leaned back and in her own sort of, I don't know, Buddha way, she said, "Phew, that just sounds like a lot of work."
And she's right, of course.
And I said, "Yeah, it is, Mom, but I wouldn't choose to live my life any other way." So
that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I want to see that in a movie. I've got to see that in a movie someday. That's priceless, absolutely priceless. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So I get that. That's something of a preface, is it, to what else has been on your mind?
Well, it's that these are all just sort of tangents to thinking, because I'm responding now to things you said. The phrase, in my experience, I have found is an incredibly powerful phrase when we're attempting to communicate in a way that someone will listen. Because as soon as you say it's that way or it's this way, then someone has space to argue, and they probably have evidence that you may be presenting a wrong case. But if you say, in my experience, or I feel this way, that can't be argued, because that's about you. That's personal. And I mean, some people say, well, I feel this way, and they'll say, no, you don't. So, well, okay. I mean, you don't know that. You don't know what I'm feeling. So
because that's one of the things that makes me really mad, James. I don't get mad too often, but if I remember seriously heated exchanges I've had with people, it's with people who've doubted my experience, and that is a challenge for human beings, isn't it, to have their experience challenged? It's among the most awful things, barring obviously physical and psychological abuse. When in the everyday, to have your experience denied is a terrible thing for a human being, I think. And it happens a lot to kids, of course, as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. To be sort of passed off as your experience doesn't matter, or to have it argued like, I know you better than you know you, or whatever that is. Well, it's another topic of conversation potentially in the future, but I pay a lot of attention to at least the concept I've developed around ego. And one of the things I've taught myself and work with my clients around is that whenever ego feels challenged, that's that sense of me is being challenged, it has one of two potential reactions. One is to attack, and the other one is to defend. And inevitably, when we're in that space, we're not getting anything done. I believe that virtually all conflict is ego battles, just two egos going against each other. All conflict, war, interpersonal relationships, whatever. When we are in conflict, it's just our Our egos need to survive and exist. That comes out in fights. So when someone challenges your feelings or they challenge your experience, it's hard to settle ego down and go, oh, you can't tell me. And that's ego saying, me, you can't tell me that. I know that. And so we get very reactive. So yes, absolutely. Being challenged like that at a fundamental core level of existence and identity can really get the emotions up for sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I've been challenged when I. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, it's always comforting to see James on the show. It's like having your own therapist for free. Now, I don't thank you, Moaz. No, I don't want to break your flow, but I just wanted to add something to what you were saying. Is that all right, or have you got more?
Absolutely, yeah, go for it.
It's the challenge of, and it goes back to what you said when you started. You know, people in an unresourceful state. You know, people who are not feeling great, people who are just depressed, or really struggling and suffering with life such as they have it. It's a very, and then then you've got what seems like your wise guy therapist telling you've got a choice. This is the great problem, isn't it? That you've got when you're not resourced, when you're not happy, it's difficult to see the very thing that might be useful to you based on the therapist's experience, probably your own if you scratch your head and scratch your history. Yeah. What's your hack or way of getting people it's like they say you can't stand on your own shadow, but in some ways, in that state, you're standing in your own shadow, aren't you? It's very difficult to see the light when you stood in your own shadow.
Yeah, and I think this is where support comes in. The role of support.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, we can't do it ourselves. We need someone to help hold us up. We need someone to help move us into the sunshine instead of it stay in the shade, So to have a therapist or to have a friend or a family member, someone who can remind us that there's more than the darkness, can be incredibly empowering. And I think that's part of the power of group therapy, is that you're sharing an experience, so you're not alone. Other people have been it, and you're in all stages of, some people are still in that darkness, and some people have found a way to move out, and they have ideas and can talk about their experience and what worked for them. So those are all places, but then there's simple things we can do that we tend not to pay attention to. And I at the risk of being repetitive, the act of intentional deep breath is incredibly empowering, and it can clear that fog instantly for about 15 seconds. Then the chemical reaction that's going on in your brain gets assimilated, and you have to do it again to re-stimulate it. But the beauty of deep breath is it's always available, it's highly effective, and it doesn't cost a penny. We can all do it anytime if we remember. So that's one element, something we can do right now. If I'm feeling a little low, okay, I'm noticing. Back to that notice, choose, and act. I have some fundamental themes that I work with consistently because they're so simple and so effective. So if I'm noticing I'm feeling kind of down and I choose to not feel that way, I want to feel better, I have something I know I can do. The action would be to take a few deep breaths in through my nose and exhale through my mouth. If I do that, I will feel better at least for 15 seconds. And if I want to do it again, I can do it again and again and again and again until I'm tired of doing it or I feel a lot better. Another thing.
You've forgotten what you were doing. That's always good.
And right, another thing with the
James, we've got a minute. I can't believe it. This 15 minutes flies by us. So it were like 1.5 seconds. But we've got about a minute to go before we welcome Gilda. And I'm not sure we even got to where you wanted to go this morning.
That's okay. If it's still on my mind next week, I can bring it in. What I'm learning as you and I do this dance, Carl, is to relax a little bit about the idea I have, because I don't like not having some kind of a format, something that I can, if there's silence, it's like, oh, I have this set up. I'm ready. I have something I can talk about. But I'm also beginning to get the ebb and the flow of being on the show with you and actually having a conversation. So I came actually prepared for that today. So it's perfect that it showed up. It's like, all right, this is fun, kind of a back and forth. I will leave you with one more simple thing. One more simple thing that we can do. and it's an amazing. It's been researched in terms of, well, all the lab stuff that people do, the interconnectedness of all of it. We can do something physical like breathe, and it impacts our emotional state. We can do something physical like smile, even if we feel grumpy or down in the dumps or whatever. Simply force yourself to smile. And you feel like an idiot because inside you feel, and you're going, I'm going to smile.
Yes.
You know, but if you create a smile and you hold it, and then let the smile begin to influence your body, it will. So you do a smile in combination with deep breathing, you're gonna feel better. It's not a permanent fix. There may be issues you need to deal with to get at a deeper level and actually get stuff resolved. But in the moment, when you feel like you have no choice and you can't feel any better, you can breathe and you can smile, and those things will help.
And there are no permanent fixes, are there? Let's face it.
No, well, there is one. Well, even that can be argued. The permanent, the permanent thing is when we cease to be in this body. Then okay, we're done. At least in this body.
Yeah, but until then, there may be trouble ahead. But while there's moonlight and music and love and romance, let's face the music and dance. Look, I'm carrying on from what you said a few weeks ago. Dance like nobody's watching. Yes. Text and email like it will be read in court someday. And notice, choose and act like a boss. I think we can say today. Any other adjuncts to that? Yes. Put them in the chat. James, it's been fantastic as ever to talk to you. Can't wait till next Monday.
Don't hit send. I told him. Just don't hit send. Write whatever you want. Get it out. Say what you want. Just don't hit send. Then reread it. Then edit it. Then reread it. Then edit it. Then decide whether you really want to say it or not. Did you really say what you wanted to say? Then send it. Just don't hit send. Some of the best advice I've given.
Absolutely. James, thank you so much. See you next week, my friend. I'll see you in the chat. Cheers. Bye for now. Bom dia, alegria. Say Gilda Pereira now. Good morning to you, Gilda. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. What about you?
I'm very well. I'm a bit bothered because I just saw your message, and now we've dispatched James into the past. I just saw your message. Tell James to stay. I have something to tell him. Can we get him back? He can come back on. Do you want to tell him to his face?
Yes.
Okay, all right. James, we know you can hear us. Come back on. You've got the link. Gilda has a message for you. So, Gilda, how's your weekend been?
Oh, it was great. I had sardines for the first time this year.
You're a lucky woman. Where did you do this? Are this at home, or did you go out to a festa or something?
No, at home.
Oh, excellent. Good for you. Oh, okay. So your recipe for that, were you actually cooking them, or is that somebody else's job in the house?
Someone else.
That's really smart. Really smart. So all you had to do was smell them whilst they were cooking, and then delight in the eating of them. Simple, salt and pepper, olive oil, grilled to perfection.
No, not olive oil. Just salt. Just with salt, really? And then goes to the grill. Yeah, not olive oil. Because it has its own flavor and its own oil. So if you put olive oil, it's going to spoil the flavor.
Oh my goodness! I've been schooled this morning, not for the first time by you, and this is so you're a purist when it comes to the sardines. You're a sardinista by the sound.
Yes.
Okay, well, more cooking tips of traditional Portuguese cookery and recipes. Please put them in the chat. Now, let's bring this gentleman back on because you wanted to tell him something.
Yes.
Hola,
hi. Hola.
I love seeing you on the show on Mondays. Good to meet you.
Yes, I wanted to say that I love to see you too. And I want to say that I remember when we when we chatted, and I only saw your photo when you chatted about when you were the banana slugged, and now, from those days to now, it's incredible that. To see what you say and how you inspire people, and such as myself, and we are a great community, really.
Yes, we are.
And you see that James was behind that picture, and we didn't know how much he has to teach us. Can you imagine other people that we have, such as like James, or we
Yes, well
might
said.
have?
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Yeah, well said. Like
Not
a
the least
reservoir.
amongst them, you, Gilda.
Absolutely. Look, this is what Gilda gets. Fan mail's coming in already. Doutora Gilda, with a love heart from Daniela Mura Alves this morning. Good morning to you, Daniela. Thank you for being here. Well, stick around for a while. That's beautiful, Gilda. Thank you for that. Stay a moment to get some of the feedback then, James. The attachment to who I am is what Michelle was talking about there.
Absolutely. It's that
are we boxing shadows composed from societal influences, experience that we are entrenched in without definition, based on our own inability to define our own truth? I would say yes. I'm going to go with a yes on that.
I'd say I need to digest that a bit. That's a lot. That feels very rich.
Suze, an update from Suze. My choice is to go home. Talking of choices this morning, my van's choice is to keep me here longer. So far, it's winning. The van is winning. Fingers crossed. Everything crossed for Suze this morning. Yes.
Yes, the breast is very important. The breast is very important. Good tip. Yeah. I could hear you. I could hear for hours and hours. So I just wanted to say what a great job you are doing, and that I am your fan.
Oh, look at that.
Thank you so much. The feeling is mutual.
Yes, there you go. So stick around a little bit more for some more feedback, because I think we can all share in this. Thank you, James, for sharing your wisdom. It's always good guidance. And Sue says, yes, I'm breathing consciously. I thought she said like continuously. Keep it going continuously. I love your sessions, James. That's a good review, isn't it?
Thank you, Michelle.
James, a good fart relieves the tension, but not great in a group completely. Pete, why must you do this in mixed company?
When you're feeling something in the gut, there's nothing quite like a fart to relieve it.
Well, there's a therapist you want. That's unconditional positive regard for every aspect of our physiology. Yes, the forced smile also works when you talk to people on the phone. Oh, they don't even know that you're grinning like a fool at the other end, do they? I used to be a crisis counsellor for child abuse issues. Oh, bless you, Nubia, and that's what I was taught. That's amazing, isn't it? Well done. Incredible. I think, great. There we go. Another one. Great banana slug as well. And I love the smiles of this show. Oh, look at this. Come on, look, we've got to talk about migration, everybody. Always good to hear you, James, from Nunu as well.
Thank you,
James.
Nunu.
Have a great day, mate. We will say goodbye to you there. And I think maybe what we've got to do then, I shouldn't do that sort of crossover like I did. We should have a chat, the three of us, every Monday, I think, right? Should we agree on that?
That would be great. Sure. I would love that.
All right. See you next Monday.
Bye-bye.
All right. Hi, Gilda. What's shaking? Says Victoria. Hug for you this morning. For you, Victoria. And interesting plans that you've talked about in the chat as well. Gilda, another heart for you this morning from Rishab. People just come in here to show their love for you this morning. Isn't it funny? Yeah. And so that I don't feel left out halfway. Thank you, Rishab, for that. I wasn't, but now you mention it. And what's this? Same works well in a call center. Smiling at the client, says Darren. Tech Cowboys in this morning. Fantastic. So I don't know if there's anything else you want to tell us about your weekend, or an update from Seth or anything like that, Gilda, before we get into the questions.
Yes, going back to the sardines. Because I understand. Yeah. Right. I understand that you don't know how to eat sardines.
No, clearly. Yes. See, what I would do, I would get that the stainless steel nets that you put a fish in. I would get that, and I would be sprinkling salt and pepper and brushing them with olive oil, and then putting them on the coals. Now, as it stands, I mean, you look quite disgusted by that, and I imagine my Portuguese neighbours will be looking out of their windows, going, "Can't believe this guy coming over here and destroying sardines like that. What should I be doing?"
No pepper.
Okay, no
Stop
pepper.
with the pepper.
Stop with the
Just
pepper.
salt.
Step away from the pepper pot.
Okay, just salt. Okay.
Yes.
And then, first of all, when you put the light, the fire, you need to
Yes.
put the peppers. Okay.
Oh,
So the
okay,
peppers
yeah.
are the first thing. You need to
Yes.
to grill the peppers.
Yes.
Okay. And
Okay.
then you take the peppers and you put the sardines. In the meanwhile, someone needs to cut the peppers in little strings, okay,
Yes.
and cut with little cubes of garlic, and then in the peppers you put a little bit of olive oil, salt,
Yes.
okay,
Okay.
and then you just eat the sardines in a slice of bread
Papa seco.
with not a popsicle. It's like a pão alentejano. You do nothing about this. The
This
more
is-
you say, the less you know.
She's got up, isn't it? This is a bit embarrassing, honestly.
It's like a pão alentejano, okay?
Yes.
Those
Okay.
that
Drier bread. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
you
Okay.
put the sardine there, you put the peppers
Yes.
aside, and someone likes with potatoes also, and that's it.
Oh, okay. I
Got it?
daren't say what sort of potatoes. I'm not going to even guess. Just boiled potatoes.
No, it can be just boiled potatoes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And
Okay,
then with the tomato and lettuce salad.
And a glass of wine, possibly.
Yes, and a glass of wine.
Crispy whites. Are you going with the Vinha Verde at this time of year with the sardines? Is that the perfect accompaniment?
Yes, it can. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That was really quite difficult for me this morning. But I'm glad. I take it. I take it on the chin. My ignorance exposed brutally. But now every time I step anywhere near a sardine or a barbecue, I'll remember this. So thank you, thank you for that, Gilda. And I think we should extract this from the show as the ultimate cooking guide to sardines. That time when Carl got shown how to cook sardines on the Good Morning Portugal show. Thank you very much. Anything else that you got up to this weekend? Any festa action as well as the sardines?
No festa.
Okay,
No festa.
Enough.
About the CEF news.
Oh, yes.
I got two. The vacancy for VFS San Francisco, they opened after being some weeks closed. It was like running, like it was a madness. People running for these appointments.
Sure, I can imagine. Like the Apple Store. I mean, there are two big queues, aren't there, in America? One is the Apple Store when a new iPhone comes out, and the other one is for VFS.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, indeed. Okay, excellent. So VFS in San Francisco, VSFSF has been open, and you expect more opening to occur?
I don't know. I think that what we saw there, it's that now new vacancies only for June.
Really? My goodness. Okay. All right. But so congratulations if you got one of those golden tickets just recently. And you said you had two bits of news, I think, for Seth.
Yes, and the other one is that Seth was on strike on Friday. So many people that went there for their appointments, they found the doors closed.
Oh, yikes. That must have been very disappointing.
Yes, it was. And now, if Seth will behave like in a consistent way, which sometimes it occurs, sometimes it doesn't, they will send an email with another date.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good if that does happen. Now, on the other side of things, I mean, I don't think people strike lightly, do they? They have a grievance of some kind. Is this to do with the new working conditions that they are anticipating that they're striking?
No, in this case, it was for all the public services.
Oh, okay. So it was across the board here in Portugal, possibly last Friday. Okay. Do you think it was successful? Do you think the government has heard the call?
No.
Oh dear. Okay, all right. We'll move on to those migration issues then, because they're coming in. Viva C is here, but before we talk to you, Viva C, Victoria's in earlier on with an hola, bom dia, kids. Como estás? Thank you very much. Tudo bem, muito bem, obrigado, Victoria. And Viva C's question: I live in France for over a year now. I'd like to apply for a D7. Do I need a copy of my criminal records from my home country as well, or just from France? Great question, Viva C. Bonjour.
If you live for more than 1 year, yes, you will need for the criminal records for both countries. Depending on the consulates, okay? Because some consulates will do accept only from the country that you are living for more than 1 year. But here in Europe, most of them require both criminal records, but you should ask the consulate.
So,
because this is really one of the things that it's different from consulate to consulate.
Okay, so just check with the consulate in question there, Viva C. So do I deduce from that then that if you've lived somewhere for less than a year, you don't have to show the criminal record from that country?
You do have to show from that country, is for sure. From the home country, for them, from France, for sure. From the home country, it can be, or it depends from the consulate.
Okay, all right, there you go, Viva C. Let us know if there's anything else you would like to ask this morning. Migration Monday with Gilda Pereira from Assessoria Emigrant. And we have, this is a nice message from Pete to the prof. We got some Portuguese history to come, Gilda. I waited for you to be here because I think you quite enjoy that as well, the Portuguese history. And a nice property to look at in Arganil in central Portugal. The prof here is being reminded by Pete that there's always a fantastic meal and a charming waitress waiting for you in Covilhã. Someone's got the glad eye for the prof there. I'm not surprised, quite frankly. Handsome fellow and smart, as you like too. Bom dia, meus amigos, from Carlos M. And the next Migration Monday question from Be Good. If I apply for a D2 entrepreneur visa / residency from within Portugal, can I leave the country for a few weeks while I'm still in the process? Or does this mean losing my application? Thanks from Be Good.
There is not such a thing as applying for an entrepreneur visa in Portugal.
Oh, okay. So that has to be done from country of origin.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that you are misunderstanding the entrepreneur visa with how do you call manifestation of interest.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Well, that'll do, won't it? Manifestation of interest, registration of interest. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Be Good. I think a call is in order, right? That Be Good should call you at EI to get the difference explained there.
Yes. And that you can do as an entrepreneur also. But it can be risky to leave the country because it will depend from the person who will be at the border to decide if he will let you get in or not.
Oh,
so
yes.
I think it's, on my opinion, it can be risky.
Okay, and we've noticed just recently, Gilda, the problem that Cindy had, and then somebody else said something similar. You know, they went to a country where the country was asking for, a border force was asking for, no, we need your card, not just your paperwork. Is this happening more and more around the world, that border forces are being more picky, and that Portugal is finding itself a little bit lacking, perhaps, in supplying the right kind of document to the person trying to move around the world?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you think might be done about that? Are we awaiting CEF's reinstigation and redesign for that to be taken control of?
Someone needs to push CEF. Okay. They need to be more aware of this.
Yeah. And you would think, wouldn't you, that in Portuguese government at the moment, there are some incredible trends going on, not least the American migration that we've covered quite fully and freely here on the show. But all over the world. This phenomenon is not showing any signs of slowing down. It might be useful, mightn't it, for the government to be saying we need to do something here. We need to get CEF sorted out. We need to make it a bit easier for people who've got Portuguese documents to be traveling around. What's the likelihood, do you think? Is it a matter of CEF settling down, the government settling down, and that's the problem we've got? We've had world challenges with the pandemic. It's just a very difficult time generally, or what's your view on that?
I think it's Portugal being disorganized.
Being disorganized, okay. But is that being owned at any level, would you say? Is there a recognition of that, or do we just continue as we are and we just learn to be a bit more patient?
No, they need to recognize that and make an effort to fix that.
Yeah.
The problem is that we are at a stage now that they don't even recognize.
Okay. So your assessment would be there isn't a government or national recognition of that. We will keep watching that. We will. Every Monday, Gilda will be here and we'll continue to talk. And in the meantime, we will help as many people as we possibly can. John is saying, bon dia, starting week 2 of our new life in Lagos. Thanks, Carl and the GMP, for all the encouragement and motivation for the last few years. That's fantastic, John.
Great, John.
Yes. Come to the Silver Coast meetup every Wednesday, 1 till 3. Let's have a beer together. I'll be having beer in July. Would love to do that with you, John. I've been enjoying my relaxing plague time off work. I don't take my good fortune lightly. It's been a useful reset. Nice one, Nubianet. Gary's in, wishing us a monstrous Monday in a good way, I would say. And Douglas is here as well. May. Wonder why he's saying that. Paul had a really great weekend in San Martino de Porto. Very much enjoyed our meetup and chat. You have chosen a great place to call home, and we will be back home to start the garden and plant our new plants. Fantastic, Paul. See you later on. Antonio is here. And Douglas is saying, morning. Guess what? It's Monday. We knew that, Doug, but thank you for reminding us. Good morning, everyone, from Suzanne in Washington, D.C. My goodness, thank you for that. And Sue's enjoying a breakfast at Casa da Padeira, a great place in Aljubarrota, very significant on the Portuguese history. Should we do a little bit of Portuguese history, Gilda? I think we should do that now, don't you? Oh, wrong one. Down. Okay, today in Portuguese history number 1, Gilda. From the Prof, 1179, Manifestis Probatum, is the papal bull, in which Pope Alexander III officially recognized the ruler and self-proclaimed King Afonso Henriques as King of Portugal. So a very important day today, that King Afonso Henriques is recognized as the ruler and self-proclaimed king. And then this. Today in Portuguese history too, 1991, the first McDonald's opens in Portugal in Cascais. Portugal becomes the 51st country McDonald's expanded into, and as of May 2020, there are 175 outlets. Do you ever go to this place that they speak of? Or would you rather not say?
I have kids, so...
Yes, well, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. I have to say it's my misfortune, and I'm just as embarrassed about this as I am about the sardine business, Sardine Gate. Mm-hmm. I tried the Mac Bifana, Gilda. Please forgive me. It was terrible, quite frankly. Obviously McDonald's should stick to what they know best. Mac Bifana, don't do it. Just don't do it. I don't suppose you ever were thinking of doing that, Gilda. Okay, we have other questions to go to. Thank you very much, Prof, for that. Are you quietly judging me, Gilda?
But I didn't understand. You don't take them?
What, the Mac Bifana? I do go to McDonald's. Yeah, I do. And much to the disgust of friends here in the community. But like you, I have children. I mean, which people could say that's even worse, inflicting that on your children. But it is, I think McDonald's, compared to McDonald's in UK, McDonald's in Portugal is fantastic. You can get beer. You can get a Sagres with your Mac Bifana, should you choose to go down that culinary cul-de-sac. But it's a very pleasant experience here in Portugal. It really is. Okay, back to the questions anyway, and I'll move away from that. Morning to Gilda. Tech Cowgirl has a question. Can we start the D7 in Canada? And once it's going, come to Portugal on a tourist visa? Have a friend where the D7 could be sent in Portugal. How would that work?
Well, I have a bad experience with that.
Oh,
Okay. Because someone told, and someone went to the embassy and they told that they were going to send the D7 to Portugal, and then they never did. And people had to go back. And in this case, it was Israel. It was much more difficult. And then we were like in a lockdown, and the flights were almost impossible to get there. And I was like, I wanted to say, I told you so, but I didn't want.
You don't do that, do you?
No.
You just thought it. You just thought it.
I
quite
thought
loudly.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
And the client was getting a bit hysterical. And she had to go back to pick them up. So
okay. You wouldn't recommend it, basically.
No, but I also have one story in Brazil, but the person had to prove that he was in Portugal and the father was very sick. And with that justification, they sent.
Okay. Okay. So it can happen, but it might not be.
It can happen, but it's not that often. And all these years, I only saw it once happening.
Wow. Okay, there you go, Darren. Hope that's helpful. And the next question then from Bon dia, Carl and Gilda. Question for Gilda. Can stock trading income be considered as passive income? Is it embassy specific? Great question, Rishab. And you're getting the measure of this because I've heard from people who've used crypto income as passive. Probably not at the moment, right? But anyway, that's let's not go into crypto right now. Can stock trading income be considered as passive income?
Yes, it can.
It can, but I guess you've just got to show the documentary proof that it's steady and reliable, right? Mm-hmm. Historically so.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Lena is helping. This is Sue singing the praises of Casa de Padeira at Aljubarrota, a lovely place to stay. We've seen the pictures, folks, on previous shows, but isn't that lovely to hear that a Portuguese host B&B is being so beautifully helpful there. Hola. I had a fantastic photo that I've just been reminded of by Eugene. You sent me one in this morning. Hola todos de ensolarado Mon Carapaccio. Now we've got a picture here of a young javali, a javelino. Very good. You're getting the grasp of the language, I think, here. Look at this, snuffling around by the roadside on the N125. That's the back end, though, isn't it? I'm thinking.
Yeah.
From the picture there, truffling about up next to the 125. Fantastic, Gene. Good morning to you. Thank you very much for sending that photo in to us. And thanks to everybody. Got all those events as well. We'll probably do those towards the end of the show. Okay. A friend hit send. It was his last day on the job. Yes. I think some people feel a little bit encouraged, don't they, on the last day to send all those emails they'd wish they'd sent in previous decades. Fantastic. I'm combing the chat for more questions for Gilda. You might have to restate them. Oh, here's another one for Gilda from Rishab. A second from you this morning. For the residency minimum stay requirement, when does the counting of the days start? Is it when CEF issues the residence permit or when the D7 is issued? Another great question from you, Rishab. Thank you.
It is when CEF issues the resident permit.
Okay, very simple. Okay, and a hi, Gilda from Nubianet this morning. Pam is happy to see that Man City won. Thanks. Thought I might need your Portuguese knowledge of the area, but in good hands. Says, oh, Pam reaching out to help, Suze. This is fantastic. Well, then you're feeling that.
You don't let me say hi back to people. You just continue.
Hi, Gilda. Says
hi.
Nubianet. Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up the pace. All right, I'll remember that. Here's another one then. Hello, dear Gilda.
Hello.
I see what you mean. Okay, yeah, you got to do the Portuguese kiss on each cheek and hi and to the way and
Yes,
everything.
you can. I cannot ignore these
I'm
people
sorry.
that are sending me
No,
love.
I'm sorry. I just really have messed up from top to bottom this morning. It's not the sardines, it's the hellos this morning. Oh, Susan's got a buyer lined up, so the van needs to be tip top. She's on the case there. We're watching this moment by moment as it unfolds.
I think we should make a movie about Suze.
It's true, isn't it? The trip from Finland through all of the Nordic countries, Northern Europe, into. I mean, there's a
And
scene
the
here.
van and every
Yeah, there's a
scene.
scene on my front yard here as well that includes Suze. It's incredible. We have to think about who's going to play us all in the film. Who do you want to play you? Come on. Who's it to be, Gilda?
No,
Which
I'm the
Hollywood-
girl who's all the time around Sue saying, "Don't go there. Don't be the refugee. You cannot. You don't need to go to safe. You da da da." I'm always
I think
giving
you
her
can
the advices.
Yeah, she'll ring you up and it'll cut to you in the
Yeah.
HQ of ER. But which Hollywood actress is going to play you in this role? Do you think?
What?
Which Hollywood actress will play you in the movie, or do you want to be in the movie
Me?
yourself?
No, I want to be in a movie myself.
Sorry. Okay. Hi, Gilda. What's shaking?
High five, Victoria. When are we going to party?
You're right. I understand why we need to do this now. Gilda, you, Bishop. Okay, I see. I understand this now. James, how can I personally connect with you as a high energy being obsessed with real truth? Well, on the Expats Portugal forum. Jerry, stand by. There's going to be a high energy connection on the forum later. It might crash the server. So let's watch out for that, everybody who's using the forum later on this afternoon. Hey, love to Carl as well from Darren. You always make Magnus's day. Magnus! And he looks forward to your show, as we all do here. Thank you for all you do. It's a pleasure. It really is a pleasure. Oh, well, look at this. Philip, good morning, says Philip. Great to see smiling people on a Monday morning. That's how we roll here, isn't it? Loving the breathing this morning, the glory that is yellow. So people being reminded to breathe, always useful. Yes, going back to the sardines. Literally lol. That was enjoyed, wasn't it, over there? Faisal Dia Bernard writes, who do you love? June, 1980s floor filler, the son of legendary Roberta Flack, died this week. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was the son of Roberta Flack. He played on such tracks as Funkin' for Jamaica at the age of 13. A legend. Absolutely. What a sad loss to the scene. Now, of course, Capricorn 12, I'm sure, said hello to you, Gilda, a little bit earlier on.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. You've actually got to see it on the screen before you will respond.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough. Carl, what was that? Carl has been in Portugal for a while, but still a noob. People are loving it. Look, tell it like it is, Gilda. Oh, I see what's going on here. I might just have to walk in a Piers Morgan style. I took this with me to my job of over 20 years. I interview over the phone. Oh, this is smiling on the other end, isn't it? People can actually hear your smile. It's true, isn't it? It makes you more relaxed for better communication, usually. Nubianet, thank you for that. Yeah. Gilda, save my life. Is that so? You have or you going to? I wonder. That is quite a big ask. This is like Star Wars suddenly, isn't it? You're the Obi-Wan Kenobi now.
This is an ex-client of mine.
Okay, all right. And you saved her life?
Yes.
You did a migration Heimlich maneuver. Do you know what? I can't believe this.
Actually, I saved her life like 20 times. Not just once.
Really? She sounds like quite a reckless individual, but she's lucky to have you by the sound of it. Which really helps. If we could focus on Daniela instead of my lack of knowledge about sardines. Look at this. Carl, pepper on sardines. Red pepper. Look at that shocked face. Oh, this is a morning I'm never going to forget. Carl, and when they are cooked, I was never going to do that, Stephen. Do not drag me into your British habits. I bet you put HP sauce on yours. Gilda schooling Carl. People are loving it this morning. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed me being humiliated this morning. 59 watching, only 21 likes. What is this madness I see here in the time continuum? Blow a kiss to the like button. Nice one. Oh yeah, Carla Gilda. Look at this. This is good news. Cindy Vine is back home now. Thanks. I hope we all helped in some way, even if it was just crossing something for good luck. Feedback for Gilda. We recommended a friend of ours on Discord to you. Discord. Well, how many people here use Discord? And McCarthy, our friend, and her hubby Zach were approved for visa. Fantastic. Good news for McCarthy and Zach there. Thanks, Darren. And Pam, sorry, did you want to respond before I move on?
No, just cool.
Okay, I learned over a long period of time at ReFood that there are certain accompaniments for certain dishes and you can't mix them up. Well, I'm not even going to guess at those because I've had enough trouble already. Oh, look, here we go. Here's one for you.
Yeah, finally.
So don't forget who has said hello and who hasn't, right? You have a photographic memory and it will not go down to respond, which is a note to myself here. And I'm trying to find, I seem to have lost. Oh, no, I haven't. How is he this morning? The little guy. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's quiet.
Do you give him the sardine bones, or was that just too risky?
No, that was too risky.
It is, isn't it? For his delicate little constitution.
Yeah.
I think my team might be able to manage with a sardine head. Actually, I gave my smaller dog a haircut for the first time. Sue's very kindly gave me some clippers. And I've given my dog a shave, which is not a euphemism. It is actual. And she looks like a little puppy again. It's amazing. So I can now offer a dog grooming service. Not that this little guy is ever going to need that because he's a short-haired fellow, isn't he? But yeah, okay, I can do that now. And it was little Peggy looks fantastic with a little bushy tail. I left the beard and the bushy tail, but she's had a nice haircut for the summer. Fantastic. Okay, question for Gilda. I am European, resident in Turkey now, says Philip. Moving this summer to Portugal. Do I need to cancel my local Turkish tax number before or after applying for an NIF? Fantastic questions this morning. There's another one.
Okay, according to the Portuguese law, you don't need, but you need to check with the Turkish tax authorities. But to the Portuguese law, you don't need to cancel.
Very good. Very simple. It's Pilot Mike, and there's the picture to prove it. Good morning to you, Pilot Mike, and a very good morning and a very good flight. Gilda, looking to move to the Algarve this year. Can we get in with high level of savings but no passive income? Good question, Pilot Mike. Welcome to the show.
Well, this is a question that has been brought up several times. The consulate and SEF always like to see the passive income, okay, because they want to see that you have money coming in every month to sustain yourselves despite the high level of savings. So sometimes what we suggest is to pick up a part of the savings and put in some kind of application that is going to give you passive income that it's equal to the minimum, to the Portuguese minimum wage.
Okay, there you go. Very good. Or buy Portuguese property and rent it out, maybe.
Yes.
I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm not giving financial advice, but there's a little tangential suggestion for you. Great to see you, Pilot Mike. Reshab asking the question, with the amount of visa applications increasing, do you think a cap might be introduced to the number of visas issued per year? That's a serious and excellent question there, Reshab.
Rishab is making very, very intelligent questions this morning.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. Question of the morning, definitely. About this, are there going to be limits?
At the time being, that is not foreseen. But that is not foreseen like a formality. But I must say that I saw, for instance, in countries like Brazil, when they were like in the top of back in 2016, 2017, there were too many people coming. We could tell that they were getting very, very strict with the requirements. So it was not like a formal thing, but yeah.
Okay, so get
But
on with
then
it.
we
Is
just
probably the subtext.
we just need to prepare the process better with more things.
Yep. Okay. Absolutely. Get the help from the professionals. EI, find them on our business directory. I'll put the link for that in just a moment. Good question, though, Rishabh, for sure. Oh, and by the way, Gilda, the response you gave to the LA Times article last week, I segmented that and put it up on our YouTube channel. It's had 1,400 views about whether Californians should go home or not, and it's prompted some lovely responses. Check that out on our YouTube channel,
Really?
everybody. Hola. Yeah, it's really good. Last full week in Mon Carapacho before returning to the States for the D7. Wish I did not have to go back. Oh, Gene, bless you. Amazing. Hussein Ali is here. I'm visiting Portugal soon and plan to set up a company there and initiate Article 89.2 since it is legal. Are there any possible risks or cons associated with it? I have a 1-year Schengen visa. Another great question. Morning, Hussein Ali.
Okay, if you have a 1-year Schengen visa, it's okay to go in and out during that period. But when that visa expires, I think you need to stay here until your resident permit is concluded.
Okay, there you go. Pam wishing Jean a great time. Hope you've had a great time. That time has gone quickly. Quite amazing, isn't it? And a movie recommendation. Did you say hello to Michelle this morning or not? I don't know if you did or not. Okay. A movie recommendation, World According to Garp, oldie but goodie. It's a great film, as is The Hotel New Hampshire, another film from the writer John Irving, I believe. The glory that is me, James. I so enjoy your Monday chats. Absolutely. And there'll be the three of us on the screen next Monday. We'll do it that way round next Monday. Another question for Gilda. Have you heard how timely the consulate is in Ottawa? The gent in Edmonton is attached to the Ottawa consulate. So, yes, your review of Ottawa.
It was about 3 months, but I think that now the last visa that we had, it was approved in 2 months and 2 months and 2 weeks, 2 months and a half.
So it's a pretty good rating then. If we had like Embassy Advisor instead of TripAdvisor, we would rate Ottawa quite highly by the sound of it. Elra's here. Morning all. Gilda, over to you.
Hi, good morning.
Oh, brilliant. Can you, says Rishabh, traveling around on a Schengen country for week 2 during the 2-year residence permit count against the minimum stay? Another great question. Crikey.
In theory, yes, but in practice, it's not going to be stamped in your passport. So no one will know.
So that's a very discretionary matter then there. So that's as good as we can give you there, I think, Rishabh. Just caught up to live, been going from playing. I bet that was fun. From playing the show 2.5 times to real time. You both sound stoned. No, it's just that all that sardine talk has gone to my head anyway. Oh, Sue's with another input from Sue. She's at the garage waiting for a diagnosis. Fingers crossed. This is where in a movie she rings you up to ask your advice.
Did he say that we both? I'm sorry. Did he say that we both sound stoned? He's talking about us.
And we resent that, don't we? Yes, he is talking about us, Gilda, and we refute and resent that remark, Sam Nazaro.
Sam, we are just happy. It's Monday morning.
Yes, exactly.
We didn't even have time to get stoned.
We haven't even had a coffee. Believe it or not, people can be this happy. Right. Regarding the meetup, add me to the WhatsApp group, please, and send the link. I'm getting told off. I'm getting orders. I mean, this has not been the best day of my life, I have to say. But I'm still smiling, Sam, as you can see. I can make it this Wednesday as I'm in Portugal. Yes! I'll write a note. Hold on. Matty, meetup. Okay, thank you, Matty. I will make sure we do that because I want to see you. Antonio, it's a big decision. Living here this past month has really helped make it. My friends in the US can either accept it or not. I should hope they will be able to visit me here. Yes, there is always that. That's what we're talking about on the Premium Plus, actually, this week. That side of migration and how to manage the relationships between with family and friends and the people you leave behind. more questions coming in. Is to go. At least you can have a beer at McDonald's in Portugal to drown out the taste of the slop. Oh, a poor review there. McDonald's opened the same year, I believe. We've got so many. We've got so many comments here that we're struggling to open them up now, Gilda. This just won't open up. I'll read it out instead. McDonald's. Oh, here it is. McDonald's opened in Portugal the same year as in Russia. My goodness. Okay. And yes, Nubian, I'm fine. For me, it was a very light, short cold. I took a home test. And it made my quarantine longer. Okay. Let's scroll through, looking for questions about migration, and we've. I think Pilot Mike's put that in 3 times, but because of the sheer volume, I think. And re-asking question number 2. We've done Ottawa as well. This is what happens. We have so many comments, Gilda, that people are putting their comments in twice so that they get heard. But then we have even more comments. Anan Suleiman, I think. Yes, Anan Suleiman. The small question. Come on, you can do this, technology. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, it is
Small
possible.
question. Is it possible to get the D7 with remote employment salary? It's really struggling now. It's buckling under the weight of questions here this morning on the Good Morning Portugal show.
Yes.
The small question. Is it possible to get... Yes, I'm going to go with on that.
Yes.
No.
No.
You,
okay.
Anan Suleiman, I think
hear
this
me?
will pass.
No. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Jill. Go ahead. Go ahead. Thumbs up to you.
Yes.
Right, we've got the question on the screen. We've got both of us on the screen. Are we back in business now?
Fine. Okay.
For Anan there. You probably answered it while I was away, right, Gilda?
No, not yet. Yes, it is possible. As long as you have a letter from your employer saying that you are able to work remotely, and if you have some savings also.
Okay, there you go, Anan. I think we're okay now. I think we put those problems behind us. But we have got such a time. It might be. It really could be the amount of comments that we've got that are causing the problem here this morning. Because we've got so much to do here. Great to have the sardines advice. Apparently, it's all right for you, Paul. Great to have sardines twice this weekend, and a bit of a boo boo as I put the cleaned fillets onto half of a papa secco. You will never do that again. It needs to be a bit of Pão Alentejano, I think you'll find. This is making my day. I woke up late, but glad I'm here now. Bon dia, Gilda. Are you back in the States, Gina C? Lovely to see you over here. Louise Wheeler. Here we go. Gilda, over to you.
Good morning.
You got to save a bit of energy. I want the director of IMT to play with me. Day 385 without a license from T-Duck. And we lost a load of comments. But please, wait a minute. Let me just catch up a little bit before you put your question in again. We've dealt with you, Pilot Mike, and we're going to Jack Polly now that I think Gilda will want to respond to.
Jack.
Come on, Tech. Help me out here. I don't know what's going on. We seem to be a little bit slow. Some sort of Wi-Fi problem, possibly. But there you go. I have to abandon the show at this rate.
I think Carl is overwhelmed with all these comments.
It's a disaster. At first there was Sardine Gate, and now there's a tech problem. But look at that, Gilda. We just talk to us. We love you. And look at this, Gilda. So that people can just have you give them a greeting this morning. Perhaps Carl is sharing bandwidth with his family. I don't know what's going on this morning. Put Mandela on the screen, says T Duck. Much more information than usual. Can you hear me, Gilda?
Yes, I can. Carl, you're having problems.
I'm sorry. I think I'm going to have to call it a day there. This is most unlike me to have to do this, but I'm really struggling. I'm really up against it, swimming against the technological tide here. Carl, what's this? You gave the wheel to Gilda. Yes, absolutely, no problem with that. But I'm not sure if it's streaming very well for Gilda when I do that. Thank the stars. Thanks to positive thinkers in this riot of gumpers. Now, I'm going to just put something on the screen for a minute, just so that you know I am still here, and I'm trying to sort things out. And I'll go and just check my connections, okay, for a minute. So hold on there, Gilda, if you can hear me. Hold on there, everybody, and just look at this picture on the screen. Right, Gilda, can you hear me? Oh, I've been running over the house trying to check my connection. Right, how's that now? One last try. Let's see if we can hear each other and whether that's going to work. Can you hear me? It's not happening, is it? No, I had a lovely property to bring you. I had events to bring you, and our connection has let us down. I'm afraid to say, Gilda, we'll have to call it a day there. This is gutting. This is more gutting than a sardine session. Oh dear. Okay, we'll end it there. I'm so sorry, everybody, and we'll sort out the tech, and we will come back to you tomorrow morning. If you want to catch Gilda, and on another occasion, if you've been disappointed this morning, we can do that, because she is joining us as our webinar star this Thursday evening, which is what I'm going to leave on the screen right now for everybody. I am so sorry. I'm going to have to play the outro or just cut the show. This is terrible. It's never happened to me before. As they say. Oh, we can hear you, Cole. Thank you. But the streaming is terrible. I'm really struggling to connect and do things behind the scenes here. So I'm going to have to call it a day, everybody. I am so sorry. So I will play the outro and see if that works. And we'll come back with those lovely events we had tomorrow. And we'll see Gilda on Thursday evening. Okay, everybody. So sorry about the technical problems this morning. I'm going to go and figure that out right now.